Hello and welcome to my virtual presentation. My name is Joshua Tomasabi and I will be discussing my professional website assignment focusing on how I used a research process called PSA to design and develop a basic website for my online industrial design portfolio. There are 5 steps to the PSA process or problem-solving approach. These steps are plan, research, draft, review, and distribute. Using this method allows us to develop our ideas into reality. Our objective was to create a professional interactive website to communicate with current and future prospective employers and my community of industrial designers. The purpose of this assignment was to create a site which showcases examples of my best works, resources I use when developing a concept, and tips to help fellow industrial designers, both professionals and students. The first step of the PSA process is planning. During this stage, I had to first think of how I wanted to handle the assignment to develop the correct type of website for my profession. I had to revert to the objective of the assignment, to create a professional interactive website to communicate with current and future prospective employers and my community of industrial designers. During my planning stages, the first thing I really needed to do was to explore WordPress, as I have never used it before. This really helped me during my planning stage, as I was able to explore several options WordPress has to offer in order to come up with a distinctive plan of what to look for during the research phase. The second stage of the PSA process is research. During this phase, I began to think in my head first of websites I had been to in the past, whether they were industrial design websites or websites we visit every day. Facebook, CNN, Google, etc. What makes these websites unique and engages the viewers to make them want to stay on these sites. Since my project is for an industrial design website, I spent much of my research phase looking to industrial design firms globally to get a basic idea of layout as well as how they go about writing on their sites in order to communicate properly to their given audiences. Globally, the idea was the same, to communicate the importance of design to any individual that stumbled upon their site, not just industrial designers. The draft stage is the very center of the process. This is really where the meat of the project is. To begin building the site and incorporating the previous 2 stages with what I had learned from the previous sites while staying true to the objective. The first step I took during my draft stage was to find a theme from the gallery provided by WordPress to find something fitting for my industry. From picking a theme, things began to fall into place because of the requirements set forth and the experience I had on other websites. I created the required pages with a home page/blog, an about page, a professional works page, resources, and a page for tips. The most important page for my line of work is a professional work page, as it showcases my work to prospective clients. This was by far the hardest for me to lay out, as there are some limitations that I was not used to, as I typically build websites and other programs. The next stage once the website was up was to have a classmate review my website. This is the stage that I learned to enjoy more throughout the semester, as it was applied not only in class, but in a few of my industrial design classes as well. For my website review, I had 2 reviewers, both of which had great constructive ideas for the site. The consensus seemed to be that since the site is geared more towards designers, the site needed to be more creative, with features like more photos and less descriptive with words in some areas. Taking these ideas into account, I was able to revise my first draft. The final stage was to distribute the website. For the purposes of this assignment, That meant turning it in to Dropbox for grading. However, we were encouraged that our distribution did not have to end there. There were other ways to encourage people to come to our sites. A few specific places for my profession to post their work is on sites made for designers. The first is ID Sketching, which is run by an industrial designer who displays sketching techniques. However, they have a great forum section where you can put your own work. Coraflot is by far the most comprehensive, as it allows designers to have online portfolios as well as search for design jobs online. Yanko Design is another website. It is a design blog which features designs submitted and approved by industrial designers and is seen by many different sectors of the industry. PSA is an approach that any person, young or old, can apply to the everyday. It makes problem solving logical yet creative. It just takes one idea to become something great. Always keep that in mind.